I've been so alone ever since I left the tribe. That's just how it goes, cause I like the lonely vibe.
Yo, what is up guys, SurgicalGoblin here and welcome to this new video. In this video, Clan Wars #3 and Hammer eSports versus Altar of Elites. That is the clan of Ash Clash YouTube. He's a really good player as well. And let's get right into the lineup. So Hammer eSports lineup is 1F Hunter, Yusef Light, Batman, SurgicalGoblin and Marcus35. And Altar of Elites, their lineup is Fatty Web, White Proud, Tay, Johnny and Oxalate. So let's get right into the first match. So this is 1F Hunter versus Fatty Web. So let's see what both are playing and how this turns out, of course. So far Hammer eSports is actually undefeated, and I know Altar of Elites is a really good clan, and a lot of you guys asked for it. So I messaged Ash and he was down for it, so that's really cool of them, of course. So both players start, so Fatty Web starts with a tombstone and Hunter decides to split his archers in the back and drop an ice golem in front of the archer. But Fatty Web isn't ignoring that, he's dropping his mega minion on top. And that shuts down the archer and the ice golem. So at this point Hunter is basically cycling to defend his bowler. And at this point both players didn't really show their win condition yet, because Fatty Web could also be playing the graveyard deck. But here he reveals his giant. And 1F Hunter, as you guys can see on top of the screen, he's actually playing Expo, which is really interesting, especially in this meta. You see a lot of tank decks now. And he is defending that really well. The giant isn't coming through, and I think he shuts down the Electro Wizard as well. Yeah, the Electro Wizard won't get any shots in. And at this point Hunter will play his Expo on the other side, because you don't want to put it in the lane where they push. But it actually doesn't really matter, because Fatty Web didn't deal any damage, so it didn't really matter where he placed down his Expo. But that cannon placement is really key, because the bowler locked on the cannon and not on the Expo. But it looks like the bowler still shuts down the Expo, and the Mega Man won't get any hits in. So at this point Fatty Web is actually up, and he has an advantage, because he knows 1F Hunter is playing the Expo. And with the Expo it's actually I think, yeah, it's really important to keep it a surprise and play it at a good moment, because otherwise they can just prepare for it. But as you can see, Fatty Web wasn't prepared for it. Hunter cycled back really quickly, and at this point the Expo is locked on, but really well played by Fatty Web. He drops his Electro Wizard on there, and the Electro Wizard is actually a really good counter, and he is forced to zap, because otherwise the Expo would deal a lot of damage. But at this point Hunter has to defend, because the giant and the Mega Man come in at him, but he plays defense so perfect. He drops his cannon, he drops his Mega Man on top of the giant, and then he drops an ice golem to tank for the opponent's Mega Man. So that's really well played by Hunter. And at this point he fireballs the tombstone to chip away and just get rid of it. And at this point I'm pretty sure, yeah, so Fatty Web is again going aggressive. He's putting his giant in front of his Electro Wizard, and here he lightnings. I'm not sure if he wanted to lightning the cannon, but he missed that. I'm not sure if it was in range or just a misclick. But here Hunter has again an Expo. But Fatty Web, at this point he does have his bowler ready for it. But that is actually a really good lock by Hunter. It pushed back the bowler, and he dropped his ice golem, so the bowler would retarget on the bowler. And again Fatty Web is forced to zap the Expo. But at this point Hunter is actually looking really good. We're already in overtime. This is a really close match. So Hunter is going with an Expo. I think that's too early, because Fatty Web has his giant in his cycle, and he could just put his giant as a tank, and then the Mega Man and the bowler could kill Expo. So there it goes. The Expo goes down, and at this point I'm not sure why he dropped his Electro Wizard there. I think that's a misclick. I think he wanted to cycle back to another giant to make a counter push out of that. But at this point 1F Hunter actually drops the Ice Spirit to kill his Electro Wizard, drops archers on the bowler, and again they are actually resetting, and Hunter again throws a fireball. So Fatty Web is towered down to 1088, and at this point the giant is actually coming through. It looks like the Mega Man of Hunter will go down, so he has a Mega Man and a Electro Wizard coming in, but Hunter is just playing defense really well. And I think Hunter is looking to fireball cycle him out, or trying to get an Expo locked on the tower. But as you can see, Fatty Web is just giving him free fireballs basically, because he drops his tombstone, which is 3 elixir, and a fireball is 4 elixir. So for 1 elixir, Hunter keeps dealing 200 damage. I think 229, and at this point he just plays defense so well. As you can see, the bowler, the giant, and the mega main isn't coming through. And as you can see, he has his fireball ready. I think he will drop his expo, I'm not sure. So here, Fatty Web is going with a giant, but Hunter didn't have his cannon in cycle. But as you can see, he's cycling back so quickly. But he doesn't even need to drop his cannon because the giant, I mean, the tower is just like full health. Not really, but basically full health. And at this point, the expo is actually locked on, but Fatty Web lightnings it. And that brings the tower down to 469. He fireballs. The tower is down to 240. It just has to cycle back to another fireball. And as you can see, it is a really quick cycle deck. And there you go, a fireball for the W. And as you can see, 40 seconds left into overtime. That was a crazy match. So well played both. And let's get right into the second match. So that means Hammers is up 1-0 right now. And this match, White Proud versus Yusuf Light. As I just said, Yusuf Light representing Hammer eSports. So both are playing the Electro Wizard, which is really interesting, of course. It just it got released. I mean, it isn't released yet, but a lot of players have it. Do the challenge. I hope you guys have it as well. So both players start with the Electro Wizard in the back, and it looks like both won't fireball it. Both had a fireball, but they don't fireball it. And at this point, White Proud drops the Ice Golem to tank for the Electro Wizard, and Yusuf drops minions. And here White Proud goes aggressive with 3 muskets, which is really interesting. But Yusuf has the fireball. Good thing that he didn't fireball the Electro Wizard. I think White Proud was also baiting out a fireball. And at this point, the 2 muskets on the left, he won't support it, so they will die. And on the right, the 1 musket, he will drop his barbarians. Oh, and White Proud actually tried to lock them and hit the tower as well. But he was a bit too greedy to hit the tower as well. And that is why he missed the elite barbarian. So they dealt over 1000 damage. And at this point, White Proud is up on elixir. He's up 1 elixir. But Yusuf dealt over 1000 damage. So Yusuf is looking really solid right now. And here he has a bowler to counter his barbarian hot. So that's a really good counter. And at this point, White Proud has 3 muskies and a barbarian hut, and Yusuf Light has the perfect answer for that. He can just fireball it, and he has a bowler for his barbarian hut. So at this point, White Proud is dropping his Ice Golem. I'm not sure why. He also dropped his Electro Wizard. So here Yusuf has a really good fireball. He hit the barbarian hut and he hit the Electro Wizard for 4 elixir, so that's a great value. And Yusuf is up a lot, and he has a bowler on the map. So White Proud is forced to defend that bowler, of course, because he doesn't want to get any damage. And Yusuf is just dropping his Ice Golem in the back to tank for the minions, and then I think he will counter push. So here he actually reveals that he has a graveyard, and White Proud just used his minions, so it looks like the graveyard will lock on the tower. So yeah, it does deal a little bit of damage, so that's always good. And Yusuf just has a bowler and minions to kill the 2 muskets on the left. He does have to worry about the right side, but I think he has, so he drops his elite barbarians to counter that. So far Yusuf is defending really well, and White Proud isn't dealing any damage. He does have a hawk, as you guys can see on the bottom, but he didn't play it yet, and I think he will play it now. So there he plays his hawk. He reveals that he has a hawk, but Yusuf does have his bowler in the cycle, so the hawk gets 1 hit. Let's see, 1 hit. Yeah, only 1 hit because he also dropped his Electro Wizard. So again, really good defense by Yusuf. And at this point, I think he's looking to go for another graveyard. And I'm not sure what he will drop now because White Proud just split his 2 musket. But it looks like he does fireball the minions to get damage in. And he has his elite barbarians ready for the 2 muskets. So again, really well played by Yusuf. And at this point, I think he has the game. He just have to cycle back to another graveyard. Has his fireball ready for White Proud, his defending troops. But he's going with a fireball now, a Hawk Rider now, and a predictive fireball. But that doesn't really pay off because a fireball barely deals any damage to a bowler. The bowler just survives. And at this point, White Proud is using his minions, but I think he had to save that for his graveyard. So let's see what Yusuf does now. Yusuf goes with a graveyard. He tries to predict the fireball. He actually misses the fireball. And the tower is down to 209. Let's see if it goes down now. So yeah, 2 skeletons that are down to 8 HP, and Yusuf had the Zap ready to kill it. So GG, 2-0 for Hammers now. So let's go to the third match. That's Batman versus Tay. So again, as you can see, the Mega Minion, the Ice Golem, and the Hawk Rider Bowler, that is really meta now, guys. Those players know what they're doing, of course, and they are following the meta, so that's actually really good. And as you can see, the matches are really close. The last one wasn't really that close, but the first match was absolutely insane with the Exo versus the Giant. So both players start with a Mega Minion. Tay decides to split his archers in the back, and Batman dropped his Ice Golem to tank for Tay his Mega Minion. And Tay actually dropped his own Ice Golem now, so that trade is going well. But at this point, Tay actually piggy pushed to ignore the tombstone. That's really key, really well played by Tay. And at this point, Batman has his bowler up, and Batman he has his graveyard now ready, so he will drop his graveyard. And at this point, Tay has his archers ready to counter that. And Batman doesn't have enough to fireball, so that's really well played by Tay. And if Batman fireballs now, he's down a lot, so he decides not to fireball. But he does know that Tay has archers now to counter his graveyard. So in the next push, if it's in overtime for example, Batman could just drop his fireball or have it ready to counter his archers. And at this point, Tay has a really good Zap. Hawk Rider and the archers are actually locked on, and the tower is down to 790. So not looking good for Batman. And Tay has his own elite barbarians to counter Batman, his barbarians. And he's forced to defend that, so he drops a well placed Ice Golem. And at this point, Tay is up a lot. And Batman, I mean, he could defend his Hawk Rider, but Tay is just really reactive with his Zap. So the Tombstone doesn't shut down the Hawk Rider. And at this point, Tay is just cycling so quickly. As you can see, if he drops his Ice Spirit, then he has Hawk Rider back in the cycle. And Batman doesn't even have his Tombstone yet. So there, Batman cycles as well. He drops his bowler. Tay actually comes with a Fireball Zap to kill the Mega Minion and deals damage to the tower. So at this point, 45 seconds left, and Tay is looking really good. So Batman decides to split his Elite Barbarians. I'm not sure why he split them. I think they are stronger when they're paired up. But at this point, he's dropping. I'm not sure why he split lanes there. He tried to prediction fireball, but he was too early. There are those archers, the defending archers. 20 seconds left. Tay got his tower down, so that means 2-1 for Hammers. Altar of Elite's first win. And second, yeah, he doesn't get the game. That's GG for sure. Also a nice fireball on defense. He will drop his elite barbarians to defend the graveyard, and that's GG. So well played by Tay. Let's get right into the next match. This is actually my match, and I got totally wrecked. You will see that soon. I got counter-decked actually, but you will see that soon. So let's get right into the fourth match. And this is me versus Johnny. Johnny is a really good player. And he starts off with the thanks and good luck. I will give him the thumbs up and the good luck. And he says thanks. So at this point, I'm actually playing with the deck I grinded the challenges with the Electro Wizard, the Graveyard, the Freeze. You probably know it because it already has over 100,000 views, and that's absolutely insane. He starts off with a Collector. I don't really have an answer for the Collector, so I decide to go aggressive, but that doesn't pay off because he has and the Skarmory and the Archers to counter my Graveyard. So at this point, he's dropping his Giant in front of the Archers, and I'm forced to drop my Bowler and my Tombstone, otherwise it will deal a lot of damage. As you can see, I only have one elixir and he can pump up again. I don't have a counter to his Collector. I tried to punish him there, but he had 2 counters ready for my Graveyard. So he has a really strong deck against mine. And at this point he's up, let's see. So we're equal on elixir. I do have a Bowler on the map, but he has 2 Collectors down. And he drops his Skarmory. So I drop a defending Electro Wizard to kill the Skarmory. But at this point he just has so much elixir that he can't do anything. And here I should have went on the right side with the Ice Golem Graveyard. But I actually tried to defend this. That was really stupid because that forced him to not forced, but that opened the door for him so he could drop a Graveyard. So at this point his Graveyard, a really well played Graveyard of course, because he know that I was down a lot of elixir because he already had 2 elixirs down 2 elixir collectors down. And at this point I'm giving the angry face because I know I got hard count attack. And again, a collector, guys. I have no answer for that, so I give him a good game. He says thanks, I'm not sure why. I'm giving another wow. And at this point I know it was done. I was done. But I still tried, of course. I would drop my Electro Wizard and a Graveyard. But he has a Skarmy ready, so I will zap that. But he already has a Giant on the map. He already has 4 archers. He has 1 Mega Minion. He's about to drop his second Mega Minion. Oh, he actually drops his Graveyard. And at this point I know I lost. I still tried to defend it, of course. Here I give a good game and I won't give up because he has 2 Mega Minions down. He still has some skeletons and he will 3-crown me. So well played by Johnny. Unfortunately I got hard countered, so that means it's 2-2, and at this point it is actually really close, guys. 2-2. It looks like they're making a comeback. And the next game is Marcus versus Oxalate. So this is the deciding match, guys. Oxalate is giving good luck, Marcus is giving good luck and a thumbs up, of course. I love to see good sport, and Oxalate also gives a thumbs up. I love to see good sportsmanship, of course, in these friendly but very competitive clan wars. And next week I will actually try to do one versus Elite Gaming. If you have any other suggestions, please let me know in the comments. So Marcus, it looks like he's playing a control deck with a Furnace. And as you can see, he actually has archers and a Valkyrie. So I'm not sure if he knows Oxalate for his graveyard plays. I mean, I don't know Oxalate, but maybe Marcus did. But he defended that graveyard really well. And at this point he's counter pushing with a miner to chip away. And Oxalate tried to defend it and predicted with a knight, but that didn't pay off. Marcus got some hits in on the tower, and really well played Ice Golem by Oxalate to tank for the archers and tank for the Mega Minion. So at this point both players are equal, and Oxalate dealt a bit more damage, but Marcus will again drop a Furnace and Oxalate will split the archers, and it's really key. But I would split them a bit more to Marcus's side, because now he still dealt 200 damage because 1 spirit made it to the tower, and otherwise the archer could take it out. So at this point both players are looking to defend or reset, because Marcus has a control deck and you don't want to go too aggressive. You will rather defend and then make a counter push out of your defending troops. But here he decides to go aggressive because Oxalate just used his fireball on Marcus's Furnace. As you can see, Marcus already cycled back to another Furnace, and here he revealed Poison. That was actually really interesting because Poison, you don't see it that often anymore. So at this point Marcus is looking really good. He has and the Ice Golem and the Valkyrie and the archers to counter Oxalate his graveyard, and he is dealing a good amount of chip damage on Oxalate's tower. So at this point again Oxalate will go with a graveyard. He has his fireball ready. It looks like, yeah, he will definitely fireball his archers and the Valkyrie. Oh, he actually missed his Valkyrie, but still really good fireball. And Marcus decided to go with a Lonely Miner, but Oxalate had a really well played Inferno there, because the Inferno could take out the Miner, but now it is also locked on the Valkyrie. It doesn't look like no, it doesn't look like it won't actually lock on the Mega Minion. A really good zap actually by Marcus that almost allowed the Mega Minion to get a hit in, but Oxalate was really reactive with his own zap. So at this point, I'm not sure why, but Oxalate is switching lanes. It looks like he's switching lane because Marcus then can't make a counter push out of his defending troops. And Oxalate has a really well played Ice Golem. He actually predicted Marcus's Miner, but at this point it looks like Marcus can just cycle back to another Miner and Poison. But Oxalate is going with a Graveyard, and Marcus's Fireballs are locked on the Knight. Really well played and reactive zap by Oxalate. But I think it's too late. The Miner is locked on the tower. 185-21. So the Miner actually almost killed it. The Poison finished it off, and that's 3-2 for Hammer. So really well played by Altar of Elites. Here you can see good games, everyone. And Johnny, he said thanks. So he said, sorry Surgical, I honestly never PM. So no problem, Johnny, you played it very well. I got hard counted unfortunately. But if you guys want to see Elite Gaming in the next episode or a different clan, let me know. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye.